What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Volvo XC40 B5 Plus Bright Theme. Huge thank you to Heasley over at Beyer Volvo Cars of Dulles, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular XC40 or any Volvo product, I'll be sure to have Jamer's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a beautiful fall day outside here today. It is on the chillier side of things, but I'll take it because I know in the next month or so, it's gonna start getting pretty dang chilly. Plus, I'm wearing a t-shirt in November, so can't really complain all that much. But just like usual, first I'm gonna talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Volvo XC40 B5 Plus Bright Theme. And this particular one has been painted in cloud blue, which is a new color to the XC40 for the 2024 model year. Now, speaking of new things to the XC40 for the 2024 model year, you get two new color options. Again, one of them being cloud blue, the other one is vapor gray. Then you also get bigger wheels, the choice of the bright or the dark theme. We have the bright theme here today. And then you also get a standard 360-degree view camera system on the Plus. But starting with the headlights, this particular one's been optioned with the $350 pixel LED headlights with automatic high beams. And as standard, you get LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights. But now, taking a step back and to the left, this is what the front end of the XC40 Bright Theme looks like. So you may be able to tell, taking a look at our grille, you get a mix of gloss black and bright chrome for your bar style grille, and then you also get a chrome grille surround. And then at the center of your grille is where you will find your Volvo logo, and then just beneath your Volvo lettering is where you will find your forward-facing camera. That forward-facing camera works with your 360-degree view camera system that, again, you get as standard to the Plus for 2024. Now, coming down just a little bit, you get a satin black lower grille as well as satin black outer grills on the outsides of your front bumper. That is what those look like there. And then you also get a satin black front fascia that runs across the entire span of the lower bumper. And then all the way at the bottom of your front end, you get this silver front chin. And then you also get 6 forward-facing sensors on this vehicle as standard, and I'll point those out to you now. So these are considered side sensors, but I just, group them into the front. So you get 1, 2, 3, and then another 3 on that side as well. And then last but not least, you get 8.3 inches of ground clearance with this XC40. But now, coming down the side, like I mentioned, you get a satin black front fascia, which is what this is here. And you can see that leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings. Now, before I get into the wheels, I did want to mention that you do get rain sensing wipers as standard with the Plus trim level. But now, coming back down to our wheel and tire setup. These are the standard 19-inch 5 Y-spoke matte graphite diamond cut wheels, and they are wrapped in 235/50 Michelin Primacy MX M4 tires. I'll give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. That is what the tire tread looks like. This is another look at the standard wheel face, and if you are not a fan of the way that these standard wheels look, there are 2 other wheel options. There is a 20-inch wheel option as well as a 21-inch wheel option. So you get a few different options or choices for wheels, which is definitely nice. But coming down the side with the Bright Theme, you get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, power folding. Both side view mirrors are auto dimming, which is very nice. And then you get your blind spot monitoring on the upper left-hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right-hand side of your passenger side mirror on that side. And then all the way at the bottom of your side view mirrors right here is where you will find your camera. Again, that camera works with your 360-degree view camera system that you get as standard with the Plus on the 2024 model year. Now, here's a little side profile shot of this vehicle, and like I mentioned, this one is the Bright Theme. So with the Bright Theme, you get these satin chrome roof rails at the top, And then coming down just a little bit, you also get satin chrome window trim here, and then you get the satin black window trim at the top of your windows. You also get body color door handles with keyless access and illumination. So you will find this little light piece right here on all 4 of your door handles. Basically illuminates the door handle, making it a little bit easier to grab onto at night. And I also believe it doubles as a puddle light. Again, you can find that right there and right there. And then coming to the bottom of all of your passenger doors, you get that satin black door cladding that again leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings here at the rear and in the front. Now I'm gonna give you a rear 3/4 shot of the XC40. That is what it looks like here from the rear 3/4 angle on the driver's side. But coming up top here, you get a body color antenna. You also get a body color roof spoiler. One thing though is that you also get your integrated third brake light into that roof spoiler. You also get a rear window defroster. You get your rear wiper right here. LED taillights do come standard with this vehicle. And now taking a step into the center of the back end, here's a little booty shot. You can see you get your chrome badging with the XC40 badging, the Volvo badging, and your B5 all-wheel drive badging. Now, this particular vehicle has been optioned with the $200 power lift gate. So you can either come underneath here, you'll feel a little pad, and if you press on that pad, the lift gate will open up. But this is also a hands-free lift gate, so all you got to do is kick it like that, take a step back, and the lift gate will open up. Again, that is a $200 option right there. And now, this is what your trunk space looks like. I would say that you could probably fit 5 or 6 carry-on suitcases back here. These are your standard carpeted floor mats. I know, not the greatest view of them, but that's the best that I can do without opening them up. And I'm gonna let the owner open them up. Now, on the passenger side of your trunk, you get a 12-volt power outlet right there. Then you also get a light on the passenger side. You also get a light over here on the driver's side as well. You get some pass-through storage space. So if I fold that second row armrest down, you can see you could send some skis through there if you wanted to. And then underneath all of this stuff, this is your cargo cover. So basically you could take that out of here, you could set it here, so it's going to go all the way across. And basically with that cargo cover on, basically when you close the trunk, thieves can't see the contents of which that you have in your trunk with the cargo cover on. But underneath the cargo cover and underneath this piece right here is where you'll find your spare tire and your jack and all the necessities to change a flat tire if, God forbid, you end up getting a flat tire. But last but not least, you also get fold flat second row seats. So if I came over to here and I pushed on that with the plus, you also get those power folding headrests. You get some fold flat storage space there. So you can see that extends the storage room another 3.5–4 feet. So definitely nice. But that kind of about does it for what we got going on here in the trunk area. So if I press this button, that's going to close the lift gate. And then if I press that button right there, that is going to close the lift gate as well as lock the vehicle. But for right now, all I want to do is close the lift gate. This is where you'll find your backup camera. I'll show you that now. So your backup camera is located right there. And yeah, coming down just a little bit more, you may be able to tell you get a satin black rear bumper. You also get 2 reflectors, but those reflectors actually also double as fog lights. So this is your fog light, this is your fog light, and I'll show you what that looks like on screen right now. Then you get another 6 parking sensors here at the rear. You get a silver rear valance with the bright theme. And then last but not least, you do get a capless filler neck. So if you came over to here, all you gotta do is press on that. This will open up. You get your capless filler neck down in there. And this does ask for premium fuel, 91 octane. And that kind of about does it for the exterior of the 2024 XC40 Plus. Let me know your comments and opinions on the XC40 in the comment section down below. Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Again, let me know in the comments down below. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder that works with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Total output is 247 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 6.1 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 23 miles per gallon in the city, 30 miles per gallon on the highway for 26 miles per gallon combined with standard all-wheel drive. Now, I know those horsepower and torque figures may not seem all that lucrative. However, when you get this thing out on the road, it's actually pretty dang quick. You know, like a lot of vehicles in this class are having, you know, between 170 to 190 horsepower, whereas this has, you know, almost 250 horsepower. So when you get this thing out on the road, it does not feel slow. It actually feels pretty dang peppy. So yeah, it's pretty dang quick. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. So if you learned anything from this video, if you've enjoyed this video in any sort of capacity, please just take 1 second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. The likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you guys would do those things. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across this little square box right here, and now the vehicle is locked. You can tell the vehicle is locked because the side view mirrors fold in. But here's a look at the key fob, satin black, and then you get some satin chrome on the sides. So this is your panic function, and then starting from the top, you have your lock function, your unlock function, and your power liftgate function. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at what the driver's side door panel as well as the rest of the interior has to offer. So these seats are called the Blonde Microtech seating surfaces. So not actual leather, but they basically feel like actual leather. So with that in mind, let's take a look at our door panel. So I do also believe that this is that Microtech black upholstery as well. Then you get some satin black trim, you get some wood inlays, and then the Plus gives you interior high level illumination, which is basically ambient lighting. So you get some ambient lighting underneath here as well. Satin chrome door handle, a speaker, 2 memory seat adjustment settings with the Plus. You have your unlock and your lock functions, your power side view mirror controls here. If you wanted to power fold in or out your side view mirrors, you could press the L and the R buttons simultaneously, and that will power fold in or out your side view mirrors. Then you get automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. That button right there is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get quite a bit of storage space at the bottom of your door panel. Moving from there, you get this brushed aluminum Volvo door sill. You also get power front seats with the Plus, as well as thigh extensions, but they are manual thigh extensions. So if you reach underneath here and you pull up and you pull out, you do get these thigh extensions, and those do come a part of the Plus. This is what the seats look like themselves. But now let's take a look at the rest of the interior. So like I mentioned, you do get keyless access. That also means you get push button start. All you have to do is have your key fob in the interior, push your foot on the brake, and then push to start. And that is what it sounds like when it fires up. One thing that's kind of interesting is that it kind of just like turns on. It doesn't have like a starter noise, like it just like turns on. Very interesting. If you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment in the comment section down below. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, this vehicle has been optioned with the $200 power liftgate. So this is the button to open and or close your power liftgate. And then coming down over here, if you flip this down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push it away from you, and then you can also move it up and down until you find your comfortable position. Once you found your comfortable position, lock it back into place, and then yeah, that is that. Now moving on from there, sorry, I just squished a bug and it kind of smells like a stink bug, but it's not a stink bug. Moving on from there, let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. And not only is this your turn signal control stock, this is also your headlight control stock, your high beam control stock, and your fog light control stock. So walking you throughout those controls, flipping that all the way up is to turn your automatic high beams on. Flip that up one more time, and that's gonna turn them right back off. Right now, this is headlights automatic, headlights on, parking lights on, headlights off. I like to leave it in automatic. Then this is to turn your front fog lights on. This is to turn your rear fog lights on, and that is what those 2 buttons do there. And then I'll walk you throughout that button here in a second. But zooming back out, I do believe that this is a leather wrapped steering wheel, and just like any other steering wheel, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like on the XC40 Plus. And with the XC40 Plus, you get your cruise control settings on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. No, not adaptive cruise. And then coming to this side of the steering wheel, this is to speak to the vehicle. This is to bring you in between your 2 different display modes. So you have your calm and your navi. So basically, if I click that and I have my location services on, it would display the navigation screen at the center. And then this is calm, basically displaying nothing. I'll get into that here in a second, but volume up, volume down, that's to go back on a track, that's to go forward on a track. But then these buttons, as well as that button, also double as another function, which I'll show you here in a second. But that is your windshield wiper control stock for your front windshield wipers and your rear wiper. Now, moving on into this is your 12.3-inch digital driver display with 2 display modes. Right now, this is calm. Clicking this is Navi. It's gonna display your navigation screen, but again, you gotta do what it tells you to do in order to get that navigation screen, which I'm not gonna do. But basically, I'll show you what that looks like on screen. I just did a video with another XC40, but coming over to here, you have your digital speedometer readout, and then you also have your analog yet digital speedometer on that side. That lets you know if your lights are on or not. That's your driver assistance stuff. Ambient exterior temperature, that lets you know who is buckled and who is not. You get your fuel gauge, your fuel range, your tachometer, then that's your transmission status stuff. That right there is basically your regenerative braking system for your 48-volt mild hybrid system. So when you come to a stop, it's basically going to recharge that system, and it's going to give you some blue arrows that go up the battery. But clicking on this is going to bring you into this screen. So this is your trip manual information. You can reset this. This is what the computer does, so you can't mess with that at all. And then that is your odometer. This vehicle has 10 miles on it. If you wanted to reset the trip information stuff, you come over to here and you press and hold on that, and then that's going to reset all those left values back down to 0. So you can see all those are back down to 0. And again, like I mentioned, these also can control that screen. They don't just go forward and backwards on a track. But clicking that is about it for that screen. Up top here, you get a bunch of vinyl wrapping, speakers in both of your A-pillars. You also get a speaker up top here as well. But then coming down, this is your 9-inch Google-based infotainment system with built-in navigation and wired Apple CarPlay connectivity. This is your home button, so this is what your home screen looks like. You also get 2 HVAC vents on the outsides of this screen. So up top here, you get your time, then you get your map stuff, Bluetooth stuff, my phone stuff, this is like your Google Maps stuff. And then down here, this is to pop up your 360-degree view camera system. You can also pop between your different camera zones. So that's my front camera. This is the driver's side camera. You get your side view camera on the passenger side, and then you can also pop up your rear view camera. This is to basically turn your parking sensors on or off, and then this is to turn your reverse automatic braking system on or off. Personally, for me, I do wish that it would display the 360-degree view camera system and the backup camera at the same time, but it does not do that. But back out of that, swiping down, this is basically like your notification stuff. Swipe back up. Like I mentioned, this vehicle, or I don't think I mentioned this, but as standard with the Plus, you get heated front seats. But this vehicle's been optioned with the $550 climate package, which gives you the heated steering wheel and the heated second row outboard seats. But if you wanted to turn your heated steering wheel on, by the way, you do get 3 levels of adjustability with that. You'd come over to here, you click on that, and then that is your heated steering wheel stuff, and then that is your heated driver seat stuff. Again, you can see both of them get 3 levels of adjustability, and then this is the passenger seat. All you got to do is click on it. But I also want to show you, you do get a second screen. So this is what your secondary screen looks like. You can pop up YouTube on this screen if you wanted to, which is, I think, pretty dang cool. But I'm going to let that do its thing here, and then I'm going to show you the other stuff. So basically, back into this screen, you got your map stuff, you got your all audio stuff here, driving journal, Apple CarPlay, but again, wired Apple CarPlay. Back out of that, then you got all of these Google Assistant, air quality, car status. Again, with the Plus as standard, you get a air purifier. Then you have your Google Play Store, your owner's manual. So this is what your owner's manual looks like. You can basically search what you want to do. But I do want to show you the YouTube stuff. So if you go into here, basically, I could pop up my channel if I wanted to on this screen. All I gotta do is do this, type it in, and then I can search for it, and then it's gonna pop up my screen, which I think is awesome. Let's see if we can subscribe. Oh, see, now I'm subscribed. Look at that. We're subscribed to my channel, but I'm gonna unsubscribe because maybe the person doesn't want to be subscribed to my channel. So I'll let them subscribe if they want to or not. But yeah. Back out of that, if you wanted to bring your climate control stack throughout the entire screen, you'd click right here, and then that's going to bring up this climate control screen. So this is what the climate control screen looks like. Yeah, so basically all your climate controls are on that screen. Again, this is your home button, You can go into your different settings throughout here. You got your driver settings. You can see all those driver settings there. Then I wanted to show you these controls here. So these are what your controls look like. You can pause your screen at any time and look at them. But back over to here, you get your Wi-Fi stuff. And back out of that, that's kind of about it for that screen. Again, that is your home button. Coming down just a little bit more, these are your only physical controls. You got your hazard button that flashes with the hazards. Then you get your front defroster, your rear defroster. This is to go backwards on a track. This is to go forwards on a track. This is your volume control knob. And then pressing on that is either going to play or pause on a track. And then this is a dud button. I don't know what that is for, but come down just a little bit more, you get 2 USB-C ports, a 12-volt power outlet down in here. You get some ambient lighting. You get a wireless charging pad as standard with the Plus. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max and it fits in that wireless charging pad, no problem. And then once it is charging, it will let you know up top here that it is charging. So you can see that little icon right there is letting you know that it is charging. And then opening this up, you get a spot you could set your key fob. 2 cup holders. You get this fancy crystal gear shifter that says Sweden on it. To go into reverse, push forward with the foot on the brake, pull backwards to go into drive. If you wanted to go into manual mode, pull back while you're in drive. Now we're in manual mode. So if you wanted to downshift, click to the left. This is to downshift. And then if you wanted to upshift, click to the right. That is how you upshift. And then push P to go into park. We're pushing P. Pull up on that. That is to engage your electronic parking brake. This is your auto hold function. So basically, if you're tired of holding your foot down on the brake while you're in traffic, if you press that button, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. That is a very nice and convenient feature when you're stuck in traffic. Then you get a little bit of storage space here on the driver's side. You could set your key fob down in there, but really, other than that, not all that much stuff can fit there. One thing I really like about the XC40s is that they get this trash can down in here. You could fill, gum wrappers, tissues, so on and so forth. But then once this is full, you can bring it to your house, dump it in the trash can, and then basically just put it right back in, and you get your trash can again. So I wish more manufacturers would have something like that, because that is actually very, very useful, and I like that. Coming over to your center console, not all that much space down in here. You probably get 4 inches of depth there, 5 inches of depth back here. But yeah, just be mindful of what you set down in there. Maybe actually like 6 to 7 inches of depth back in here, and like 4 inches up there. But you get a nicely padded armrest, accent colored stitching. Coming over to here, you get the interior high level illumination, which again, basically ambient lighting, which would run across there. Then you get that wood inlay. It looks very, very nice. And then coming down just a little bit more, you do not get a lockable glove box, but you get quite a bit of storage space in that glove box down in there. And then coming up top here, you get an auto dimming rear view mirror with your home link. Your home link is your universal garage door opener. So if you own a house with 3 different garage bays, you can open up those 3 different garage bays individually with these 3 different buttons here. And then coming up over here, these are basically like your roadside assistance buttons, Volvo on-call buttons. This is to turn, or this basically lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. Driver gets a light, passenger gets a light. They're basically touch screen lights. All you got to do is touch them. And then this is to turn on all the interior dome lights. So all the interior dome lights are on now. Click that button again and they all turn back off. As standard with the Plus, you get a panoramic roof. This roof also, not only does it slide, but it also tilts. So I'm going to let that shade go all the way back. But if I pull up on that, now the sunroof is going to slide backwards. It's going to stop. But if you wanted to open it up just a little bit more, basically all you have to do is flip this back one more time and it's going to go all the way back. So that is what that looks like. But I'm going to close that back up. But while that is closing, let's take a look at our visor. You get a vanity mirror, a vanity light, and a spot you could set some paper or something like that. And then this does not slide. So this is a fixed visor, and that is as far as it goes. Closing that back up. Again, if you wanted to tilt the sunroof, you just press right here and the sunroof will tilt up. If you wanted to close that back up, again, all you got to do, slide forward like that, and it's going to close back up. Slide forward one more time and the shade is going to come all the way back. This is the speed in which the shade comes back. You can see that is what that looks like. But coming over to here, you get your OPU panel for the driver. OPU panel over there for the front passenger, and that kind of about concludes what we got here in these front row seats. So a couple things that you get with the Plus: you get the driver seat memory, you get the interior high level illumination, you get the thigh extensions, you get the power front seats, heated front seats, the 360-degree view camera system, the air purifier, the universal garage door opener, and the power folding second row headrests. Again, this vehicle's been optioned with the $550 climate package, which gives you the heated steering wheel and the heated rear seats. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen, and you can take a look at whatever you want to. I suggest you take a look at the safety and security stuff. This is a Volvo. They prioritize safety and security, so take a look at that. You get a lot of stuff there, but basically I am just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 XC40 B5 Plus Bright Theme is spec'd is $47,295. I just did a video with a 24 XC40 Ultimate. It was a dark theme, same price as the bright theme. And that one was $51,000 and some change. So, you know, for a few more $1,000s, you can get the fully loaded version of this. But really, they're very similar. The other one, just from off the top of my head, has adaptive cruise control and the pilot assist, which is basically like a semi-autonomous driving system. But let's take a look at what we got going on here in these rear seats before getting into the driving portion of the video. So this is what the door panel in the back looks like. Let's see how far these second row windows go down. That is as far as they go down to about right there. Satin chrome door handle. You get a speaker there. You get a speaker down here. Then this button is to lock the interior. So when you guys go in to get groceries, your kids can lock the vehicle from the push of that button. Then you get a nicely padded armrest. You can see this window does not open. You get some storage space down there, and then you can see the fold flat storage space. However, I'm going to fold this back up so you get a view of what these second row seats look like. That is that. And now let's step in. Let's see what we got going on in here. So you get a little bit of storage space here. You could set a key fob, maybe you know, one of those small little Kit Kat things, maybe a Hershey's bar, you know, the small Hershey's bar. But yeah, that is what that is down there. Closing that back up. I'm not quite sure what this is, so let me know what this is in the comments down below. But over here, you get a dome light. All you gotta do is tap on it, and the dome light will turn on. You get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. That is mesh, by the way, so just be mindful of what you set in here because it may fall out. You get the same thing behind the passenger seat as well. You get two HVAC vents coming down here. Like I mentioned, with the climate package, you get it heated outboard second row seats with 3 levels of adjustability. And then just to the left of that, you get 2 USB-C ports. Now, when it comes to the leg and the knee room, I am 5'9" and I am adjusted behind myself. You can see I still have quite a bit of knee and leg room. Here's another view of what that looks like. And honestly, I think you would be surprised by the amount of, you know, room there is in the second row, considering what this vehicle looks like from the outside's perspective. But when it comes to headroom, I'd say I probably have, you know, 4 inches of headroom left over. Again, being 5'9", and then opening this up, you get 2 cup holders, you get a nicely padded armrest, and then also, again, like I mentioned, you do get this pass-through storage space, so you could send your skis through there if you wanted to. You just got to drop it from the trunk area. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the interior. So, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the XC40 Plus. So, I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So, I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now onto the driving portion of the video where I go over the speed bumps at 5 miles an hour, and then I rate the vehicles on a scale of 1 to 10. Did pretty well over the first one. I was going a little bit too fast. Low end torque on this is nice. Let me go again, 5 miles per hour. It's about 5 right there. It's gonna get an 8.1 on a scale of 1 to 10. It does very well over those speed bumps. And these cars are surprisingly peppy. You know, I know the horsepower and torque figures may not suggest that they'd be all that quick, but considering, you know, this is, you know, a relatively light vehicle, put the weight of it on screen right now, it gets up and moves with the power that it has. So let's demonstrate that now, shall we? and it is optimized for the low to mid-range RPM, so that is kind of where the focus is of the power. So, you know, once you get it higher up in the RPMs, it almost feels like it kind of falls on its face a little bit, and that is because it is optimized for the low to mid-range RPMs, where you will probably be doing the majority of your driving. One thing I wanted to mention is that I just did a video with a 2024 XC40 Ultimate, and I almost felt like that one had a little bit more insulation. That is just, you know, right off the bat, that is something maybe that I noticed a little bit. I almost felt like the Ultimate had a little bit more sound insulation from the outside world as compared to the Plus, but I'll test that as we progress along in this video and as I go throughout my driving route. But as of right now, another thing I wanted to compare this to the Ultimate with was the sound system. So the other one had the Harman Kardon sound system. You get that as standard with the Ultimate, and I will say that one was better, but just ever so slightly. So it wasn't that much better, but it was just a tad bit noticeably better, if that made any sort of sense. It was just a tad bit better. And you know, if you really like to listen to music, and you listen to music a lot in your car, and that's kind of like your happy place or whatever, then I would suggest taking a listen to the one with the Harman Kardon sound system versus the one without the Harman Kardon sound system. So basically the Plus versus the Ultimate, because I think those of you who like listening to music in your car, and that's, you know, whatever, that's your happy place, I think you will notice a difference with the Harman Kardon versus the standard. However, if you don't really care and you just like to listen to music and that's not really like your big thing, then I think you'll be totally fine with the standard sound system, because again, there's really not that big of a difference. But for those that know, if that makes sense. Now, a couple things I wanted to mention have to do with the infotainment system here. So basically, I really wish that they would have wireless Apple CarPlay. Now, I also don't know if this has Android Auto, because on the window sticker it only mentions Apple CarPlay, but this is a Google-based system, so I would assume that they probably have Android Auto, but again, on the window sticker it doesn't have any mention of Android Auto, so that's just something kind of interesting. And I really do wish that it had wireless Apple CarPlay. You know, I think that is a must for a 2024 model year vehicle or a 2025 model year vehicle. So for 2025, I absolutely think Volvo needs to put wireless Apple CarPlay in this. But yeah, that's kind of one of my only gripes, is not having the wireless Apple CarPlay. And I guess another gripe of this same system is that while you're driving, you know, these icons can be a little bit small. So when you're driving and you got to go throughout the secondary menu to go throughout something else, it can be a little bit difficult. And then also, you know, when you're doing your climate control stuff, it is very easy. All you got to do is tap on that. But when you're driving and maybe you're focusing on something else and you're trying to like turn the whatever down real quick and you got to click that, it is just one extra step. And I've mentioned this on videos that I've done with a lot of new vehicles, BMW in particular, is I really wish they would just give us physical climate controls, because at least for me, I prefer physical climate controls. And I know a lot of other people do as well. So I don't quite understand why all these manufacturers are now switching into the climate controls being on the screen, i.e. the Ford Mustang. What else? Off them, like the BMW X5, the BMW i7, like all these new vehicles. And those are just a few that I can name off the top of my head. I'm gonna go back into this lane so I can do a nice little acceleration. I don't understand why everybody's going to the physical or the climate controls throughout the infotainment system. I think that's a mistake. I like physical climate controls. But with that rant out of the way, this vehicle cruises very nice. The seats themselves are very comfortable, and I'll show you a nice little, you know, floored acceleration here up this hill. This is floored. So you can see, you know, once you get higher up into the RPMs, it is a little bit slower, whereas if you just do like a mid-range pull, it almost feels faster. You know, it's just kind of interesting like that. And I almost feel like it shifts quicker when you give it like 60% throttle as compared to full throttle. And that is something that I just noticed with this engine, because this engine I believe is also in the XC60 as well as the S60, and pretty much almost across the entire lineup. So yeah, you just give it about 50-60% throttle, and that's kind of the sweet spot in the acceleration range. But yeah, it actually handles pretty well. Sound system is pretty decent. I actually do like the simplicity of the digital gauge cluster. There's not all that many things you can do throughout it. All you literally can do is either display the navigation system or not. So that's kind of nice, but I also just appreciate everything that you get standard with a Volvo. And I also just, I'm going to turn that turn signal off. I also just appreciate the build quality of a Volvo as well. You know, when you press on everything, you can see it's just solid. You know what I mean? Like, the build quality is great, and that is something that I appreciate. So it's just the little things like that that add up to make a really nice product. Now we're going to do a nice little handling test here. So you can see it handles really well. Like, if you got to do a high speed maneuver, you got to do something like that, you just know, and I'm gonna hit this bump on purpose, just know that it is very controllable. It doesn't feel like it's top heavy like the XC90s feel top heavy. Obviously this isn't an XC90, it's quite a bit smaller than an XC90. So this has quite a bit of maneuverability when it comes to avoiding an object at high speed. So that is something that's also important. And then one thing that's also just great about this is that, let's say, you know, you live in the country, but you work in the city. So you have, like, you know, a 40 minute to an hour commute. You know, this is good for that because it gets good fuel economy. It has the power, you know, on the highway to pass people, but it also, you know, gets pretty decent fuel economy as well. Whereas, you know, some other vehicles in this, you know, compact SUV category, they have between like 170 to 190 horsepower, which on the highway, you know, is very slow. Whereas this has about almost 250 horsepower. So you got that passing power, you know, you got that stoplight to stoplight power, but you also have just a compact SUV feel, which is good for driving in the city. This is good for parking in parking spaces, but it also is pretty spacious in the second row. It's spacious here in the front row for somebody who's 5'9". I feel very comfortable in this driving position. So, you know, it does everything pretty well, you know? So with that stuff said, that kind of concludes today's video. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and again, I cannot get there without your support. So if you enjoyed any part of this video, if you learned anything new about this vehicle, again, please take a second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. The likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you would do all those three things. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.